Let's understand what are the other types of data in SAP in addition to the master data and transactional data. I'll take an example. I purchased a mobile phone. I want to send an email to my friend. Simple. This is my requirement. As soon as I purchase the mobile phone and when I take it out of the box, I cannot immediately send the email to my friend. So what are the prerequisites? First, configure the mobile. So when I say configure the mobile, I need to create my user account, or if I already have that, I can log in with that account and configure the other settings like the country and the language or other preferences like touch ID or the pattern, selecting the passcode. So whatever are there other configuration. So we just need to finish that up. Okay. So now my mobile is ready for use. Can I directly send an email? No. So to send an email, first we need to install email application. So it can be a Gmail application or a Yahoo Mail or Outlook, whatever it might be. It is already pre-installed, then it's fine. Otherwise, we need to install the relevant email application. Though you install the email application, you cannot send an email to your friend. What you need to do? Log in to the email application. So once you log into the email application, again, if you want to send an email to your friend, you need to know your friend's email address. You must know your friend's receiver's email address. Then trigger the email. Just to send an email from your new mobile phone. So you might get a question like, I'll send an email from my laptop, something like that. So just an example, I want to send an email from my mobile phone only, new mobile phone. So for that, I need to have all these things as a prerequisite. So then only I can trigger the email. So can we trigger the email without all these things? Not possible in this case. So similarly, in SAP also, let's say I want to create a material in the system, or I would like to create a customer or supplier or a GL account or a profit center or a functional location or an equipment, can be of anything. If I want to create or maintain some master data in SAP, I cannot directly do that. To do that, first I need a system, just like how I need a mobile phone to send an email in this case. To create or maintain the master data, I need a system. What kind of system I need? I need an SAP system, nothing but SAP server. Though I purchased the server, I cannot create or maintain the master data directly. First, the server has to be configured. When I say server has to be configured, so the respective OS must have been installed by the IT team. And then in that server, the SAP teams, the respective team, I'll come to the team names. The respective team must install the SAP software components. Once they install the SAP software components, then they have to configure that. Maybe the authorizations or assigning the roles or creating the users, allocating the memory and organizing the buffers, kernel level settings, whatever it might be. The core server level SAP relevant configuration must be completed. Then still we cannot create a material. Just like how you cannot create send an email though you have configured the mobile. For that you need to install the email, then you need to log into the email application. So this is based on the requirement. Configuring mobile is must for doing any activity. But if you want to send an email, you need to do these two activities. If you want to send a message on the WhatsApp, instead of email application, you need to have the WhatsApp application. Requirement specific activities and the generic activity. Similarly, in SAP also, if you want to create a master data, you need to do the core configuration first. The core server or system configuration. Whether you will install ECC or S4HANA 1909 version or 2002 version, whatever it might be, the core system must be configured. Then on top of that, based on your requirement, you need to do certain other activities. Say, for example, I want to create a material. How can I create a material in the SAP? For that, I need to assign certain data or maybe the properties. Material type, what is the material group, and what is the unit of measure, and what is the plant that this material to be extended, and what is the storage location for that plant, what are the characteristics for that material. I need to update all these details for that material based on the business scenario. So material type is not a master data. Material group is not a master data. Plant is not a master data. Storage location is not a master data. Class characteristics are not master data. They are just being leveraged by material master data to create the material in the system. I want to create a finished goods material and extend that to plant IN10. So I initiate the material creation process. I assign the material type as FERT, finished goods, and I extend my material to the IN10 plant. So if I want to leverage that material type or the plant or storage location or unit of measure or class, first those must have been configured in the system. Meaning material type must have been already configured, plant must have been already configured, storage location must have been already configured. Similarly, the class, characteristics, everything must have been already configured. Then only you can create the master data. And once the master data is created, then you can, our business can perform the day-to-day transactions. First one, get the server installed with the required OS. That will be done by different team. I'll come to the teams and everything later. And install or configure SAP S4HANA 2022 components in the server, or usually simply we call it a system. Anything is fine, doesn't matter. Then once the components are configured, so this includes like memory management, buffer management, and the users creation, assigning the roles, everything. I'm not going too detailed, granular level maintained here. Now once those are ready, configure material type for extend the material to plant IN10, for example. So now material type FERT, also material group to be configured and unit of measure, etc. Next, plant IN10 must have been configured. Storage location optionally based on the requirement. Classification, that is also optional. Whenever I mentioned optional, that is based on the business case. So all these are configured. I'm just taking few as an example, not going too detailed. So once all these are configured, then create FERT material in the system and extend to plant IN10. Okay, so material is created. Now, business transactions can be made on material. Maybe the orders, purchase orders, sales orders, invoices can be generated, deliveries can be happened on this material. So now these are the series of activities to get this requirement done in the system. Here, the question is, in the real time, will it be done by the single team or multiple teams? So as an MDG consultant, though we may not involve directly in all these series of activities, we must know what is what, who will do the each of these activities, who are responsible, and what we call that data. The first thing, it will be taken care by IT team. I hope most of you are aware of. In SAP, whatever you do, whatever activity, everything will be stored in the form of data in some table in the underlying database. So there are thousands of tables. We hardly using 1% of the entire set of tables in our day-to-day life. Create one user. That user data will be stored into some table. You change your personalized settings. That will be saved into one table. But we don't know all those tables. We simply perform our activities. So that's why I mentioned types of data in SAP. Everything will be data. Simple. So here the configuration done by basis and security teams. And we are configuring this data before creating the master data in the system, right? So this is called as reference data or organizational data. And this will be done by SAP functional team. In our case, functional consultant, because we are taking material as an example. If it is any finance relevant thing, that will be done by finance FICO consultant. And if it is any SD relevant, SD consultant. And if it is any plant maintenance relevant, PM consultant. Depends on different functional consultants. So once this reference data is ready, then the master data came into the picture, the primary focus bias. And who will do this master data creation? So this will be done by business teams. It can be based on the business org structure. Sometimes they have the business users in different teams, and sometimes they have different team only for the master data maintenance. And then that will be handed over to the some business user groups. It depends on the org structure. And then the transactions, end users. Typically, these are the data that we see in any SAP environment: basis data, organizational data, master data, and transactional data. So here, if basis data is not there and organizational data is not there, then there is no master data. If master data is not there, then there is no transactional data. If transactional data is not there, then there is no revenue for the business. If business don't get any revenue, then we don't have our jobs. Simple. So whatever data is here, everything is important for every business. We cannot exclude any of these things. But as an MDG consultant, what is our primary focus? This is not our primary focus. This is not our primary focus. But these two are our primary focus. Though this reference data is not a master data, but that is very much required to maintain the master data. So as an MDG consultant, we will be responsible for these two activities, 3 and 4. We don't bother about 5 at all. That will be taken care by the transactional systems. That system will be different. These are the various types of data that we do have in SAP. So that's about the types of data in SAP. In tomorrow's session, we will see what are the various challenges of master data and how MDG can overcome those challenges. Any questions from anyone before closing the call for today?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, show me the last slide. Sir, here we are concentrate on this 3 and 4, right?
Yeah.
But these all are created to maybe functional consultant. But we are taking these two, right? 3 and 4. Mostly they are created. After that, we are taking the data and further process, right?
See, first these two will happen, 1 and 2.
Okay.
Then our activities will started from here. And once the 3 and 4 are completed, then we'll hand over the data to the business teams and they will make the transactions. So we don't have any involvement here in the 5.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You will understand clearly down the line. Any other questions from anyone? So what is the prerequisite for MDG to activate after basis activity? So those things we will discuss in the baseline configuration chapter, Tanya. So that's it for today, guys. So see you tomorrow. Thank you.